Hi all, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a video on a composition so I can show you how I got all of these images and ended up with this image. So I found all my different images that I want. So I've got a picture of the plane backdrop, a picture of the trunk, and then all three of my rabbits. They have to be kept separate, unfortunately, but I really wanted to try a photo with them all together, and that's why I thought I'd give this composition a go. I've opened up my backdrop image, and that's what I'm going to work on first. So I'm just going to extend the backdrop. So I'm going to use my marquee tool, right from the top down to the bottom, nice big selection. I'm going to press Command C, Command V, and Command T. So I've copied it, I've pasted it, and I've put it into transform. Holding down Shift, I'm then going to click here in the middle and I'm going to drag this out and press enter and it will apply it. And now I want to do the same the other side. So now that I've done that, I'm going to be bringing in the next part of the composition, which is the trunk. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to find my image and I'm going to drag and drop it on. I'm now going to add a layer mask and I'm going to invert that layer mask by pressing Command I, and then I'm going to be using my paintbrush. Because I've got a black layer mask, I want to be using white the forefront, so switch that round, and I want 100 opacity. And then I should start bringing the trunk back in. Sorted. I'm just going to do a little bit of a tidy up here. So I'm going to group this together. So you can hold down Shift and then click the first one and then click the bottom and then press Command G to group them together. And I'm going to rename that to backdrop. I haven't had a chance to fix this at all. So the right catch stays down but the left doesn't, and I want them to look the same. So I'm just going to try and clean this up a little bit. I'm going to Shift, select all of that and Command J, and then I'm going to right click and merge layers, and that gives us a new layer based on what we've done below, and this is where we can then start to bring in the clone tool. I'm just going to zoom in again, and now I'm going to select the clone tool from here, and I want to be viewing the clone source. So if you click that window, clone source, you can bring up a lot more options, and that is really annoying me. There we go. So I want to be replicating this catch on that side so they're both closed. And if you click here, there's an option to flip horizontal. And if I make my brush bigger, I'm going to press Option to select my source and click. And then you can see that it's flipped it to the other side. Because I haven't straightened the photo yet, you can see that this doesn't quite match up. So we want to amend the angle of the clone. So if you go over to here, there's a little angle option there, and if you double click this option, if you then go back over and hold where you'd roughly want to place it, and then you can press the up or down key on your keyboard to shift it to where you need it to go. And then press click. I'm gonna name this one as my trunk. I'm gonna name this one as my trunk left catch, and then I'm going to duplicate that layer by pressing Command J, and this one is going to be the middle catch. So you can see here, I have not prepared myself before the shoot, but there's a bit of string on it, which I should have cut off. Easily fixed. And I'm going to group the trunk together by pressing Shift, Command G, and it's going to be trunk. So now I want to start adding in the bunnies. So first of all, I'm going to bring in the middle one, which is Spooks. So I'm going to find the image that I've selected, this one here. I'm going to drag and drop and open that. I'm going to drop the opacity down. I'm now going to select the move tool and I'm going to move him along so he's roughly centre with this catch underneath. That's about right. And then I am going to drop down, drop up. Yep, that looks pretty much in line. And I'm going to pull the opacity up. Click here, I'm going to add a layer mask. I'm going to invert that layer mask. And then I'm going to use my brush tool, zooming in, white at the foreground because I'm editing onto a black layer mask. And then I'm going to bring this little guy in. I want to get as close as possible when it gets to the trunk because I want to make sure that I'm not bringing in anything that shouldn't be brought in. Make sure he's not missing a ear or anything. And I know he was quite close to this bit here in his original image, so I'm just going to go careful because I don't want to bring that through. As you'll see, there you can start to be brought through. I'm going to switch back to black, get rid of that, I don't want that. I'm going to change the opacity down to about 30 just to get that edge. Okay, one bunny down. So I'm going to group him. I know he's just on his own, but I'm going to label that as Spooks. And now I'm going to bring in my second bunny. Okay, again, drop the opacity down so I can see it layering over. I need to select the move tool and gone too far. Just going to zoom in a little bit just so I can see better. And I want to be up there. Okay, I don't need to shift him over, I'm quite happy with his placement there. So I'm now going to add a layer mask. I'm going to invert that. Again, select our brush, white because we're going onto a black layer mask. Push that up to 100% and let's bring him through. Okay. Final rabbit. So again, let's group that and I'm going to name that as Shelby. And let's bring Thumper in. So I now have my final composition where I have all of my layers combined to where I'm happy. I can crack on and do the rest of my edit, and I will show you in a second the end result.